Well, howdy there, folks. This is my first video on this channel, which is quite exciting. So, this is Sam of Samuel Plays Brass, and what am I? What do I do? Well, obviously the channel name states a lot of it, but let's get down to it. So, I've been playing trumpet for a couple months short of 4 years now. However, I've only been committed to playing for about 2. You see, I never meant to go anywhere with trumpet until then. And there's a long story behind that. That's another story for another day. But yeah, here we end up now. Never thought I'd be making such a channel. So, that's me. Let's go over some other things. I'll show you guys what I've got. We start over here on this side. We've got one of the most generic Yamaha trumpets imaginable. This is a student model, actually, that after some 24-month plan, my family gained ownership of. Not realizing it might be worth it to buy a slightly better trumpet. It's alright, considering it's a student model. The valves work alright. There's not a square inch of this thing that isn't covered in scratches, but I mean, what else can you expect of a student model? All the slides are pretty badly tarnished. It's a multicolored trumpet. On the inside of the slides, we've got yellow, brown, red, green, a little bit of blue mixed in there from all the copper and how much it's been exposed to oxygen. I think that's how it works. So, yeah. Long story short, this isn't the greatest trumpet of all, but it's one of those things that's like, I guess it doesn't work that well, but you still love it anyways, just because it brings back so many memories. And you know, it's just got typical 7C mouthpiece that I really want to replace with a 3C because 7Cs are just getting too small for me. So over here, we have a treasure chest of a trumpet case. You can see it's got Yamaha Custom Z on the logo. And I love the Yamaha Custom Z series. Trumpets, trombones, they're all awesome. So if we just pop the latches open, you can see we have a 2-trumpet case. Another trumpet could fit in here if you so desired. In fact, I'll show you that right now. You can just fit that right in there. So yeah, we got a couple mouthpieces in there for this trumpet. This is a Yamaha Custom Z Bobby Shoe model, and it is a beautiful trumpet. It's got to be one of my favorites, honestly. Looks a little weird on the slide, but I mean, that's nothing. It's all, I mean, the trumpet should be about how well it suits you and your playing. Now, yeah, it had some problems with the valves. I think that's because I didn't oil them enough when I first got it. I think that's where the source of the problems was. So make sure you oil them a bunch, probably like every day, and clean them out every day. So basically, every day, whenever you practice, oil them before you practice, and then wipe them out with like a, I don't know, a valve brush after you practice. That's always a good way to go. And, you know, we got some mouthpieces over here. This is the Bobby Shoe jazz mouthpiece that came with it. It's about equivalent to a 3C, which is nice because I've adapted to that size, and that's a good size to have. And then we've got a Vincent Bach Megatone 3C, and this has to be one of my favorite mouthpieces ever. I mean, I absolutely love this thing because it doesn't detract from your high register, unlike some of those like mellow, dark sounding mouthpieces, but it also gives you the mellow and dark sound, which is awesome. So that's the trumpets. Now if we move on to here, we have a fun little section to tinker around with. We got some mutes, and we got a nice stand for the trumpet. Just kind of sits on top of there. So when you're resting during a song, you can just plop it down on top of that. But we got a few fun little mutes to work with. This is actually just a blue funnel, but it makes a pretty nice mute, honestly. It fits almost perfectly over the trumpet bell. And then we got a couple of Humenberg straight mutes. That's another story for yet another day, because, yeah, there's a long story behind why I have 2 of the same mute. And then we have a practice mute, which dampens the sound by a whole lot, but it doesn't take the tuning qualities of it out of tune at all. So, you know, it's quite a nice mute to have if you need to practice somewhere and you need to practice quietly. And then we've got the Sprite bottle with some little, I don't know, I guess corks, I guess, that aren't really made out of cork at all. But it actually makes a decent mute. Maybe I'll play something for you guys later with that mute on. That'd be nice. So here we have the cleaning supplies, a whole bunch of them. And it's in this leather case that I sometimes use for my bobby shoe trumpet. However, this mouthpiece does not fit in the receptacle and allow the other side of the case to close, which is quite annoying. So I have to haul it around in this treasure chest of a case, as I like to call it. So it's a bit of a frustration. I don't want to be hauling around a little box with the mouthpiece in it all the time. That could end badly. But you know, I've just decided to lay out all my cleaning supplies because why not? You know, we got a mouthpiece brush, valve casing brush. These two are some of your best friends, honestly. And then we've got the valve oil and the slide grease that I use for my old trumpet. And then just a bunch of other things. You can see these are the boxes for my two go-to mouthpieces. The Bobby Shoe Jazz and the Vincent Bach Megatone 3C. You know, we just got a couple of polishing cloths here and a couple of snake brushes. Those are always handy. So, I actually also happen to have a Yamaha Custom Z trombone. It's actually a pretty cool instrument. I kind of made a mistake. I thought you don't really need a trigger trombone unless you're going to be playing super fast music. I didn't realize how handy a trigger is to have. So this thing actually does not have a trigger, but it's still a fairly good trombone. And it's, you know, this is probably pretty much as good as trombones get without having a trigger on them. I mean, this is a really nice trombone. It's got just a Vincent Bach 5G mouthpiece. And then, you know, in here we got the slide, just the usual stuff. So I think that'll just about do it. That's all the brass instruments I have as of now. I have plans to play the piccolo trumpet pretty soon. Hopefully that'll work out. So, as for now, I think that pretty much concludes my little studio review and my first video. And my plans with this channel. Where am I going with this channel? Well, honestly, I don't really intend to go anywhere. This is just a channel that I made for fun. I'm just going to be uploading when I play and hoping that somebody benefits from it in the end, because it's always nice to learn from a trumpet player who's just one or two notches above you. So that way you can learn to play as well as them. And then once you can play as well, you just look up to the next person. And, you know, it's a good way to climb the ladder. So, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like on this video. Let's get this channel some exposure at least. And yeah, see you next time.